Mimi niko kwa tayari kwa mtihani. Hiyo mtihani tutafanya 2027. Mimi niko tayari kwa hiyo mtihani. Yes. Mtakuja mniulize. Mambo ya uchumi mtajibu. Mambo ya kilimo mtajionea wenyewe. Mambo ya SHA mtaniambia. Mambo ya affordable housing na mambo ya markets na mambo ya hostels na mambo ya ajira ya vijana mtaniambia. Na mtaniambia nani yako na mpango bora kuliko hii mimi niko naye. Hawa majamaa wengine hawawezi kuwaambia mambo ya uchumi because they don't know and they don't have a plan. Hawawezi kuwaambia mambo ya masomo ya watoto wetu because they don't know and they don't have a plan. Hawawezi kuwaambia chochote, watawaambia Ruto must go. One term. Kasongo. Sasa si mmewasikia? Wamewaeleza mambo ya kilimo hata siku moja? Wako na mpango tofauti ya ile mimi niko nayo ya mambo ya matibabu? So that is the reality, my friends. You know? That's the reality. Unajua kuna watu wengi wananiambia, unajua wewe ungewacha hii kwanza, unajua ungefanya hii mambo, umefanya mambo mingi sana wakati mmoja, ungefanya ingine kidogo, alafu uendelee kuwa popular ndio ufanye hiyo ingine mwaka hiyo ingine second term. Sasa mimi nawauliza, hii Kenya mambo hii imechelewa. Yes, tumechelewa. Kwa sababu imekosekana mtu ya kufanya hii kazi. Mkosekana mtu ya kuamua hii maneno. So, sikizeni. Singapore walianza na sisi 60 years ago. Today in Singapore, every citizen, 97-95% citizens wa Singapore, everybody is a home owner. Kenya hapa, watu milioni 7 wako kwa slum. Kwa sababu ya kuchelewa. Sasa tungoje, mnataka tungoje tena miaka? Tunangojea nani? Na kama hii kazi inaweza kufanyikana kwa miaka 5, tungoje miaka 10. Si tufanye na hii miaka 5. Alafu kama kuna kazi nyingine imebaki tufanye na hiyo miaka ingine. Nitahakikisha ya kwamba hii Kenya inabadilika. That is my job. That is my responsibility. Unajua iko fitina mingi. Wacha niwaambie. Shetani ashindwe. Shetani ashinde mfululizo. Yani sasa huyu Bishop Mureithi amenionyesha kanisa ile tunaenda kujenga mjengo ya ghorofa 10 na ngapi Bishop? 11. Ghorofa 11. Bishop ameniambia hii imefanywa makadirio ni 350 million. Mjengo ya kanisa ya ghorofa ngapi? 11. Sasa niwaulize, kanisa ya kutosha watu 300 inaweza kufika shilingi bilioni? Kama hii kanisa kama hii mjengo ya ghorofa 11 ni 300 million. Kanisa ya watu 300 inaweza kufikaje 1 billion sijui na ngapi? Tafadhali jameni. Wacheni porojo, wacheni propaganda, wacheni chuki. Mnachukia kanisa ya Mungu kwa sababu gani? Ile kanisa tunajenga pale, sijui hao watu wametoa wapi mabilioni. Kanisa tunajenga pale ni ya kutoshana na wale watoto wetu tuko nao pale, familia 300, tuko na Sunday school pale, na mimi sijaanzisha, nimekuta kanisa iko hapo. Ile kitu nimefanya tu, nimesema badala ya kuwa kanisa ya mabati, wacha tujenge kanisa kama ile yenu mko naye ya mawe. Iko makosa hapo? Kuna makosa? So tafadhali wale wanatuwekea fitina mingi, utukejeli, sijui nini, tafadhali nawaomba tuheshimu neno la Mungu. Wale wako pale State House ni Wakenya kama wengine, ni Wakristo kama wengine. Tuko mpaka na chaplain. Nilisikia askofu mmoja akiuliza nani atakuwa bishop ya hiyo kanisa. ile chaplain, tuko na chaplain ambaye anaendelea mpaka saa hii. Nilimkuta pale, si mimi kumwandika, nilimkuta pale akiwa chaplain. Ataendelea tu na hiyo kanisa vile ilivyo. Na nimesema hatutatumia pesa ya serikali kujenga ile kanisa vile nyinyi hamjatumia pesa ya serikali kujenga hii yenu. Si hii yenu ni mchango yenu ndio mnajenga naye. Sisi tukijenga naye ile ya State House tubadilishe kutoka ya mabati iwe ya mawe, iko makosa? Tuendelee ama tuendelee? Mtaniombea na wale wako State House tujenge hiyo kanisa na tufaulu. Tukiwaita mtakuja kutusaidia kujenga. Kama mtu hana sera, hana mpango, hana agenda, hana vision, hata akili hana, huyo ni mtu ya kuchaguliwa kwenda mahali popote? Mimi nawauliza watu wa Meru, wale watu wanatupigia makelele mingi, nikijaribu kuwasikiza ile wanasema hawasemi barabara, hawasemi stima, hawasemi vijana wapate kazi, hawasemi chochote. Kazi yao tu ni hewa, kuongea mambo ya bure. Asanteni.
The restlessness of our young people, the impatience of the young people in Kenya is because for far too long we are operating around the average, you know, the normal, this roll-of-the-mill stuff. And yet we have tremendous potential. So they are not entirely wrong. They are pushing the limits. And that is why we need to up our game. Yeah? And so it's the reason why we have a four-pronged plan on how we're going to create opportunities. These young people are looking for opportunities. They are looking for opportunities to work. They are looking for opportunities to do business. They are looking for opportunities to learn, to grow, to, you know, to be part of the drive that we have as a nation. And it is because it is in the DNA of Kenya not to be average, but to be excellent. That's our DNA. And that's why you see people are restless, people are impatient. Because that's what we are made of. We are not made to participate. We are made to win. I take it very positively when I see the push, when people push me, you know, as by God's grace, I'm the leader of this nation today. And it is my responsibility. You know, when I get pushed, it is because I am the leader. Who else was supposed to be pushed? You know? Mimi. Yeah, so it is the correct thing. So, and I will also push the limits for our nation because we can do it. Today across Kenya, in every county, we are having a conversation about youth entrepreneurship. Working with the World Bank, we have raised 5 billion shillings to give 100,000 young people in Kenya money to scale up their businesses, and we are in the process of identifying them. I have asked counties, county governments, members of parliament, MCAs, chiefs, assistant chiefs to work with us. The target is to have 1 million young people benefit. We're starting with 100,000. By the end of this month, we will be releasing, we'll begin the process of releasing the 5 billion shillings to make sure that in every ward in Kenya, we identify 70 young people between the age of 18 and 29 who are doing business so that we can give them business support grants. We're also looking for 90,000 other young people who have no formal training so that we can take them through formal training, pay for their stipend, make sure that we support them to gain skills and competencies, working with with our TVETs. We are also identifying close to 20 or 30,000 others who will go through what we call recognition of prior learning so that we can certify them. Many of them are working in our affordable housing programs and all the other programs. And we want to identify another almost 700,000 young people to support them to be part of the AGBO process. Government procurement. We have a lot of government procurement that's going on, and young people are not participating because of many roadblocks. So we want to prepare them so that the budget we have a huge budget of procurement, close to 200 billion, that is supposed to be reserved for young people, people with disability, and women. But that is not, we're not uptaking that. They are not participating, and we want to see how we can improve their skills. So that exercise is going on across Kenya today, and allow me, Marsden, to use this launch of yours to ask members of parliament, members of county assemblies, our Ngao officers from chiefs and assistants to participate with us as we focus on how to mainstream the participation of the young people in our nation, rally their energy, rally their talents into growing our country. Others will be participating in our housing program, markets program, hostels program. Others are participating in our export of labor or labor mobility program. Others are participating in our digital jobs program. Others will participate in what I've just said as we try and create a broader base of opportunities for the young people of Kenya to contribute their talent, their energy, their expertise, their knowledge in driving the economy of our country and in driving the progress and development of Kenya. We have operated for far too long with the average and the usual and the ordinary. It is time for us to up our game, to raise our ambition. And we are beginning to have a conversation as a country. In this place where you are sitting, in the last 2 months, I have sat with all the members of parliament and senators in this place, one by one, to explain to them why Kenya is a third world country by mistake, and by mistake of us, the leaders. There is absolutely no reason why Kenya today is a third world country. It is us, the leaders, who are to answer. We are the people responsible for our country being a third world country today. Because, just imagine, I have had engagement with 2 heads of state who were similar to us 60 years ago, at a personal level. I asked the president of Singapore to come and see me. He came here in 2023. I have visited the president of South Korea 3 times in my presidency. Just because Singapore and South Korea were exactly like Kenya 60 years ago. Today, they are in the first world, we are in the third world. Singapore, for example, was exactly, and you have been following pictures, Singapore was exactly like Kibera, a slum, 60 years ago. Today in Singapore, 97% of their people are home owners. In Kenya, 7 million people live in slums. And home ownership is limited to 30,000, 40,000 mortgages every year. If you look at the GDP per capita of South Korea, in 1963, it was $79, exactly like Kenya. GDP per capita for Kenya in 1963 was $80. But today, South Korea is in the first world with a GDP per capita 20 times that of Kenya. In fact, they lend us the money, 80 billion shillings, South Korea lend us to do Concert City. Just imagine. The difference between us and them? Leadership. It's not money, it's not resources, it's not all those, it's just leadership. And that is why I've taken time over the last 2 months to speak to leaders, members of parliament, senators. I brought here governors, because we have an opportunity of a lifetime to get Kenya out of this third world place and make it a first world country in our lifetime. It will not take us so long. It will take us between 20 and 30 years, and Kenya will be a first world country if we do the right things. You carried our flag with pride and brought great honor to Kenya, once again proving that we are a nation of champions. It is not an easy feat to achieve. Out of 198 countries, Kenya finished second overall with 11 medals, 7 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze. To be the second best in the whole world out of 198 countries is no mean achievement. This is an achievement we celebrate with pride, but more importantly, one that we must emulate as a nation in every other thing that we do. The restlessness sometimes you see in our young people, the impatience that you see in our young people, is because they are impatient with the ordinary. They are tired of the usual, of the average. They want us to up our game because there is great potential in our nation. And none other than our young people know that. And that is why we must up our game as leaders and as Kenyans. And with those remarks, kwa kipindi cha miaka mitatu tumetekeleza mageuzi makubwa ya kijasiri na ya kubadilisha mfumo, na matokeo sasa yanaonekana wazi. In 2023, we launched the Kenya Integrated Agricultural Management Information System to register farmers on a digital platform and improve service delivery. Today, 7,100,000 farmers are active on the platform, up from only 300,000 in 2022. This digital revolution allows us to deliver subsidies directly, eliminate wastage, and target genuine farmers. Through e-vouchers, inputs are accessed transparently. Policymakers now rely on real-time data to respond swiftly and design evidence-driven policies. Kupitia mpango wa ruzuku ya mbolea, tumepunguza bei kutoka shilingi 7,500 hadi shilingi 2,500 kwa gunia la kilo 50. Kufikia sasa, zaidi ya magunia milioni 21.3 ya mbolea yamesambazwa kwa gharama ya shilingi bilioni 53, na hivyo kuokoa shilingi 105 bilioni kwa wakulima wetu. Tukitazamia mbele, mwaka wa 2026, tutasambaza zaidi ya magunia milioni 12.5 ya mbolea katika wodi zote 1,550 nchini. Mbali na magunia milioni 4.5 ambayo tayari yamepatikana kwa msimu wa mvua mfupi ambao unaendelea hivi sasa. Hatua hizi sasa zimeanza kuzaa matunda. Uzalishaji wa mahindi ukipanda na kufikia rekodi ya magunia milioni 67 mwaka wa 2024. Mwaka huu wa 2025 tunatarajia magunia milioni 75. To us the leaders, the opportunity for Kenya to be in the first world is now. The opportunity is for us to take up our responsibility, fashion what will take Kenya to the next level, work on it as though our lives depend on it, and make sure we take Kenya to the next level. I am persuaded that that is how Kenya is going to move to the next level. Our next phase, and that is why I am saying we must stop working with the ordinary. We must stop working with the usual. We must not make peace with what is average. We now must up our game in the agricultural sector. We must move our agriculture to the next level. And the next level involves matters irrigation. I have already asked the Ministry of Water to work with the Ministry of Agriculture in identifying at least between 30 and 40 mega dams, because irrigation is going to be the next frontier for us to be able to achieve enough food security for us not to import anything into the Republic of Kenya. I have also asked the ministry to begin to think about how we add value. I have said Kenya cannot continue to be an exporter of raw materials into other countries. In the coming years, most climate and development finance will flow through the IMF and MDBs. Without reform and replenishment, our calls, however passionate, will remain rhetorical. MDB reform is the only path to meaningful, scalable financing in the foreseeable future. This requires a united stand and a strong collective voice from Africa, the Caribbean, and across the developing world. Only together can we ensure that the international finance system becomes an enabler of resilience and prosperity rather than a structural barrier. Good morning, everybody. Karibuni.
We would like them to do how they can support and help roll this forward. We haven't quite gotten to that space, and would be happy for you to give that direction.
On the issue of labor placement, OJE and RPL. And I think for you gentlemen, these are to know their names and probably hear their voices. So this presentation we are supposed to use for investment. All those 190 youth will be taken through the savings, skilled and mentored, 4,000 master craftsmen, upskilled and trained, 20,000 youth certified under RPL. 20 youth in each and every ward under for AGPO, and also just to understand the EGP, but we ended up with 40,000. On OJE, we needed 90,000. We ended up with that from this meeting for this morning. So far, and then, so it's about induction, skills craft, social-emotional skills development, trust selection from the sectors that we consider are of high growth. And then, the application process, if you are beyond 35 years, but that is the age band issues that we are dealing with Gen Z. And then, of course, followed with those between 25 to 29 years. So pure, we call them 8 lots. And in Nakuru, lot 1.
D status for under review.